Wherever you go in Taiwan, you're bound to come across unique little rural villages or beautiful scenic locations. Their existence can often be attributed to the hard work of the Soil and Water Conservation Bureau, Executive Yuan, over many years. In the 1960s, the Slopeland Agriculture and Pasture Bureau was established. This was reformed in 1989 as the Soil and Water Conservation Bureau, which sought to bring the spirit of efficiency and teamwork to the work of soil and water conservation around the island. The Bureau's responsibilities have expanded along with changes in Taiwan society. It emphasizes conservation and efficient utilization of the nation's soil and water resources, and seeks to rejuvenate the life of Taiwan's rural communities. The aim is to create for Taiwan a beautiful and sustainable future. After retrocession, the demand for land sparked a wave of unregulated slopeland clearance. In the 1960s, the Bureau's predecessor had already begun to investigate the situation with the aim of drawing up plans for the sustainable use of land resources. The Bureau has by now covered every inch of land in Taiwan. It has collected over 2 million items of information and drawn up zoning designations, farming, pasture, forest or conservation land for over 800,000 hectares of land. This is the foundation for Taiwan's sustainable future.
民国50年代了，已经开始在做全省山坡地供农业使用的土地的一个分类了哈。你太陡的坡地，当然你不能做农业使用。那今天透过这个程序的话，我们这整个完善的规划我们整个山坡地哈，山坡地一个合理的使用。
To ensure appropriate use of slopeland, the Bureau was an early adopter of satellite monitoring for slopeland management. Taiwan's mountains were thus watched over by an all-seeing eye in space. The moment changes to the terrain are noticed, staff are sent to investigate to prevent illegal land clearance. This constant watchfulness is necessary if Taiwan's soil and water resources are to be protected. In the 1960s, the Bureau was already actively involved in assisting farmers in the work of soil and water conservation. Its operations extended over 150,000 hectares located all over Taiwan. The construction of hillside ditches, plant coverage, and safe drainage all met the needs of agricultural production, while also helping to protect the natural environment. Along with changes in Taiwan's economic structure, the initial targets of the Bureau's work were achieved one after another. Nevertheless, the Bureau continues to look ahead to see what more it can do for Taiwan. The Bureau is taking bigger steps and engaging in more ambitious soil and water conservation projects. Using the watershed as a unit, it's drawing up comprehensive plans to prevent debris flow and other natural disasters. In this work, the Bureau has introduced new methods. The technique of incorporating local stone into concrete frames reduces the need for cement. It creates porous walls that are a suitable habitat for many living creatures, while also serving to reduce debris flow incidents. The Bureau has always adopted a forward-looking posture and is always researching new work methods. This effort has repeatedly won recognition through the awarding of the government's Public Works Gold Medal. The wounds of the disaster have healed and the fish have returned. The aim of all the Bureau's work is to ensure that man and nature can live in harmony. The incidents of landslides, extreme rainfall, and other natural disasters have become more frequent. These are a reflection of climate change across the globe. Facing these new challenges, the Bureau has adopted a comprehensive strategy for disaster prevention.
联防灾面小组你好，
土石流灾害应变小组你好，土石流灾害应变小组你好。
Every time a typhoon warning is issued, the Bureau's Debris Flow Disaster Emergency Action Team will form, serving as a control center for disaster prevention and response. To establish a comprehensive and detailed debris flow disaster prevention information network, the Bureau has established monitoring stations around the country. The Bureau also has highly versatile mobile monitoring units that can be deployed deep in disaster-prone areas. The aim is to have forewarning of disasters so as to limit the damage they cause.
因为我们全台有1552条浅式溪流，而且气候变迁已经超乎过我们的及时预警的能力的情况下，那我们的机动性一定要提升，它能够把当地的影像和雨量所有的情况及时的传输回来，也会让当地的民众的安全有更大的提升。
The Bureau has invited scholars and experts to visit mountain communities for field studies. They're able to discuss possible dangers with local residents and help establish evacuation routes and procedures. The aim is to get the local community involved in the work of disaster prevention. Evacuation routes have already been drawn up for over 500 communities.
在这个灾害来之前，他们能做到自主警戒，藉有这样子的一个做法，那这个灾害的损失能让它降得更低。哎，
你降低都无，
拢无人，
拢无人啊半啊，拢老了了，拢家国下就对。啊，
所以即摆就爱足注意的，就是，
系啊，
雨水期的时阵，哦，就爱，嘿，爱看溪水的变化，
爱酸啊，
对啊，雨沙雨。
Disaster prevention information is disseminated to all members of the community. Every family is encouraged to prepare an evacuation pack, and every community to establish evacuation procedures.
再见。
Every year, the Bureau holds debris flow disaster evacuation drills to improve preparedness in at-risk communities. It's also trained thousands of debris flow volunteer specialists. When a torrential rain warning is issued, the specialists monitor accumulated rainfall and report back to the Bureau. This job is not remunerated, but many people are proud to serve as debris flow volunteer specialists because they can stand together with the Bureau in protecting their homes.
你只要自主防灾做好，咱这个地区的发展，拢总有法度确保。
The Bureau doesn't only want to provide a safe living environment. It also wants to revitalize rural villages that are experiencing the worst effects of population outflow.
居住在农村的人哦，他认为说他对自己没有信心，同时呢也没有希望。我发现到农村要转变哦，人的品质要提升，所以我们是从教育着手。
The Bureau has organized a series of training courses to increase awareness and self-confidence among local residents. Local people have started to reorganize their villages, looking back at their history and rebuilding traditional farming communities. The Bureau also encourages villagers to use their own creativity and become involved. By drawing on their ideas and their effort, we're able to give their village a rustic, scenic appeal. Residents who are full of vitality are the most precious resource of these attractive rural communities. These villages used to be in decline. With the help of the Soil and Water Conservation Bureau, local residents have brought in new ideas and renewed vitality. These villages are filled with energy and laughter once again. Young people are returning to build businesses. They're creating a new life for the rural village in Taiwan.
再生计划已经进来了，那其实是一个机会，让年轻一辈的能够回到自己的家乡，来为这块土地来打拼。
Over many years, the Soil and Water Conservation Bureau has time and again gone the extra mile, developing new working methods that have helped to protect Taiwan's natural environment. The Bureau takes an active stance on disaster prevention. Its priorities are preparedness, mitigation work, and recovery. Through the development of local disaster prevention mechanisms, it's helped to create a safer environment. Rural villages have totally changed their appearance. From conserving the nation's soil and water resources to rural village regeneration, the Soil and Water Conservation Bureau is constantly working to build a better Taiwan.